Hello, and welcome to Under 1000. My name's Thomas Flower, and each episode I'll read you a piece of super short fiction. All of the stories are 1,000 words or less. Today, I'll be reading Prophetic Messages. Please be aware that this episode deals with themes of death, so if that's likely to upset you or anyone you're listening with, then you might want to skip this one. Colm wasn't sure if his plan would work exactly. He'd tried before with a few simple questions, things anyone could look up online. He'd even tried asking one or two things he was sure no one else could have known, and that had all worked out. But asking about the future? Surely it was impossible for someone to be sending out accurate predictions to anyone that bothered asking. It had all started about a month or so ago. A news story had blown up about an email address that anyone could send their questions to and receive answers immediately. The story went that a woman in America had stumbled across it when she made a typo and was shocked to have her innocuous questions answered instantly. Whether that story was entirely true or not was difficult to say, but either way, everybody wanted to have a try. Of course, Colm was no exception. He'd already contacted the address several times before, but never to make a prediction. He'd heard from friends that they'd emailed small questions asking about the future, and had inevitably seen the answers come true. He'd even heard on the news the other day that the lottery and all other types of gambling were having to be suspended indefinitely, as there were suddenly too many winners. But he still found it hard to believe that some strange, anonymous email account would be able to tell him about what precisely the future would hold. Slowly, hands shaking slightly in anticipation, he opened his browser, logged into his email account, hit new message, and typed in the name of the fateful address. Pausing for a second, he tried to decide what to ask first. Maybe something simple. Check if it works or not. If I flip a coin, what will the result be? Colm wrote out quickly, grabbing a penny from his wallet before hitting send. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It always took exactly 5 seconds before... With a ping, a reply landed in his inbox. Heads was the only message within. Flipping the coin, Colm waited nervously, hoping that the email would be accurate, while simultaneously praying that it wouldn't be. Catching the coin as it fell, he folded it inside his palm and took a slow, deliberate breath before opening his hand. It was heads. Still, that could easily be a fluke. A 50-50 chance is good odds for coincidental accuracy. Searching his desk, Colm tried to devise another test he could run to be sure. Spotting a die tucked away in a corner, he hit new message again to inquire what number would be rolled. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ping. 4, the email prophesied. Rolling the die, Colm cupped it under his hand, giving him a moment once again to consider what he might feel if the mysterious emailer was somehow right. Slowly, removing his hand from the table, he looked eagerly and fearfully at the face staring up at him. It was 4. No doubt. So it was true then. This strange address could tell you not only about the past and present, but also the future. Having suitably convinced himself that it would be reasonable to do so, Colm began thinking about what he could ask about how his own life might go. Quickly and impulsively, he opened a new message and wrote out, "What will my life be like in 5 years? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ping. This question cannot be answered." Colm was confused. He'd never seen a message like this before. The emailer always had an answer for everything. How could there suddenly be no information to share? Hitting reply, he typed with frustrated spontaneity. "What does that mean? Why can you not answer?" Of course, he'd never sent a reply before. Perhaps it wouldn't work. Maybe every message had to be a new message. Could you begin a message thread with a strange occult theological mystic, or did it have to be... Ping. It is impossible to describe your life in 5 years, because you will not have a life in 5 years. Colm was shocked. He felt like he'd been knocked across the room, though he was still sat at his desk. He wanted to cry, but the tears wouldn't fall yet. He was still in too much disbelief. Typing rashly and without thinking again, he hit reply to ask, "When will I die?" 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The seconds felt agonizingly slow this time. Ping. 16th of February 2020 at 11:23 a.m. It was so precise, so clean and passionless. Surely it couldn't be true, could it? Not even a year from now he would be dead. But he was only 17. People never died that young, did they? Seeing this made him terrified and confused all at once, but he still wanted to know more. Morbidly fascinated despite himself, Colm hit reply once again. How will I die? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ping. Car accident. Hit and run. There it was. A simple answer. But it couldn't be real, could it? Colm thought to himself. So this stupid thing had managed to predict a coin toss and a dice roll. That didn't mean it had any authority to say when or where or how he would die. Trying desperately to push the replies to the back of his mind, Colm exited the browser and slammed the laptop lid shut much harder than he'd intended to. There's no way, he kept telling himself. It couldn't be true. The correct answers must have been a fluke. Everyone else was probably lying or making up stories when they said their predictions came true. There's just no way some stupid email could convince him that he'd be dead within a matter of months. Thank you for listening to Under 1000. I'm your host, Thomas Flower. To follow the show online, look for Under 1000 Pod on Twitter or Facebook. If you'd like to support the show on Patreon, go to patreon.com/under1000pod, where you can sign up for bonus content and a thank you to be read during these credits. The theme music is an instrumental version of In Between Days by Nick Tate and the Sharks. To hear the full song and more from the same EP, go to Nick Tate, NICTATE, and thesharks.bandcamp.com, or search for them on your favourite streaming platform. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and that you'll join me again next time for some more super short fiction.